why is it important for you to kind of be vocal, not only just about your autism diagnosis, but also being a Black woman?
One thing a lot of people don't recognize is with autism, most of the research is done predominantly in white men, basically. So a lot of women go under the radar, and then there's that extra layer of being a Black woman, where often we're dismissed in medical fields, in healthcare, because when we're struggling, it's seen as us being overreacting or dramatic, or that we're strong and we will be able to deal with it. So these are all issues that we face. I'm coming from a very traditional Ghanaian family, I remember I told my mum that I had autism, and then she was like, oh, don't listen to those white people, they don't know what they're talking about. And I was like, no, this one's real. I was like, I know some diagnoses, I know, but this one is legit. And then she was like, okay, just make sure you pray, okay? And I was like, no, it's not and then but after I explained it to her, I remember, because imagine this is how she sees if someone is autistic. She's like, oh, it's this, horrible thing that the person probably didn't pray enough and all these things. And I started to explain to her some of the positives of autism, this, it means I'm hyper attentive to certain things, which actually makes me a lot more academic in a lot of ways. Or, this is actually some of the strengths that I have because of this. These are some of the, famous figures that have autism and were extremely intelligent. And she was like, oh, okay. And now all of a sudden when she hears autism, she's like, oh, this is a good one. But it's without me having that moment of just being like, okay, look, I know I come from this kind of family. I'm not going to just be like, oh, she doesn't agree with it, I'm moving on. Why don't I explain it to her? And you really never know. Obviously, there are some things where that could be a lot harder to create that change, but to be able to kind of stand strong in what you are, double down, you'd be surprised if sometimes in a Alicia's case, for example, it might be later on, and I've had that as well, be further down the line where what you said to them resonates in some time, but you really would be surprised by the impact that you make by essentially being that change that you want to see.
Yeah, that was really cool to think of it in that way too, of just not just changing larger communities, but your family and close loved ones. And yeah, I love that.
Listen, I know you want to hear more gems like this. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Ismara, and this was a clip from my YouTube series Kwanzaa Unwrapped, where I'm highlighting folks that I think are redefining Black culture. So if this topic resonates, don't play yourself, add the video to your watch later playlist. Y'all already know where the link is.